Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Gangut here bringing you another Minecraft World War 1 bathtub build tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building Russian battleship Gangut. Gangut was both the lead ship of the Gangut-Class Dreadnoughts of the Imperial Russian Navy built before World War I, and the last of her class to be completed. She was named after the Russian victory over the Swedish Navy in the Battle of Gangut in 1714. She was completed during the winter of 1914 through 1915, but was not ready for combat until the mid-1915. Her role was to defend the mouth of the Gulf of Finland against the Germans, who never tried to enter, so she spent her time training and providing cover for mine-laying operations. Her crew joined the general mutiny of the Baltic Fleet after the February Revolution, and joined the Bolsheviks in 1918. She was laid up in 1918 for lack of manpower and not recommissioned until 1925, by which time she had been renamed the Oktyabrska Revolucja, which translates to October Revolution. She was reconstructed between 1931 and 1934 with new boilers, fire control systems, and greatly enlarged superstructures. During the Winter War, she bombarded Finnish coast artillery positions once. Her anti-aircraft armament was greatly reinforced in early 1941, just before Operation Barbarossa. She was provided gunfire support against the Germans during the siege of Leningrad, despite being bombed 3 times and under repair for a year. Retained on active duty after the war, she became a training ship in 1954 before being struck off the Navy list in 1956 and slowly scrapped. So yeah, the Russian battleship Gangut here, a very interesting ship, a ship that saw both world wars and definitely saw quite a bit of history in terms of the Russian Revolution and swapped hands and stuff like that here and there. A cool dreadnought though to go ahead and add to our World War I dreadnought fleet, which really isn't too beefed up, so it's definitely good to see another one here and added to our collection. Now before we go ahead and jump into taking a look at this build, I do want to go ahead and give a special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video description, where you can go and put a small amount to the channel every month, and doing so earn a vehicle request to your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel and is really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, link is down in the video description. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here to take a look at the Russian battleship Gangut. So going ahead and getting started with here, we have the ship. You can see it's pretty small in size, kind of staying with that dreadnought type of size and all that stuff. Very similar to that of a World War II cruiser you can see there in the background in terms of its size. We have the forward area here, which does have its anchors, and then we have our first turret here. This does have a small anti-aircraft battery on it. I do want to go ahead and also mention that this is designed to be the kind of World War I configuration, or basically its look when it was first produced. So this is not based off of like the World War II or anything like that. Continuing on, we have our superstructure here, very small superstructure, some life rafts and boats and stuff like that surrounding both sides, and then obviously our top mast, our forward mast right there, our funnels. Then we have our turrets 2 and 3 located here in the kind of mid-deck section. So quite a bit of firepower on the ship for definitely being a early dreadnought. We then have our sponsons here, which is a pretty unique design. They actually kind of pop off the side here of the ship, which is pretty cool and gives them some kind of better lines of sight or firing arcs, so that's pretty cool. Then further back here we do have the rear mast tower, again just some more boats around it, fire control systems and all that kind of stuff. So again, nothing too fancy. And then at the back here, of course, we have our rear turret. Again, a lot of detail here, some of the more secondary gun batteries, and that brings us here to the stern of the ship. So a really cool ship, very unique in design, kind of definitely stands out compared to other ships that we have done. So very happy to get a build out for that, and I think this is actually our first World War I dreadnought for the I guess our Russian line here, which is pretty cool since we do have a protected cruiser here, and I believe another ship over there, a couple protected cruisers actually for World War I. So definitely nice to see another kind of capital ship here for our World War I builds. But without further ado, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer here, we begin going ahead and starting here with layer number 1 for the build. Now, if you're completely new to my BAFTA build tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I do half on camera, half off. What this means is we're going to be building the first about 4 layers for this build. In particular, will be done half on camera, half off. So we'll be building the center line and then the right side. It'll be up to you guys to take the right side and then copy it over to the left side. These first 4 layers are pretty easy for the most part, and once we get into more complicated stuff, which does come around the superstructure area, we will go ahead and transition back to doing basically the whole layer all together. But this kind of helps to speed up the process here for these initial layers, and since we're just kind of building up the whole, there's really not a whole lot of detail to really worry about, and it's pretty straightforward. In addition, if you are planning to build the ship in the water, which I imagine most of you will want to do, we do want to make sure that we position this correctly. You can see here that layer 1 here is basically mostly just consisting of top slabs of brick, and that's sitting basically right below the water surface here. So this first layer here of blue concrete is representing our water level, and you can see here where those bricks top slabs are coming into play relative to that. So you do want to make sure you position that correctly, because if you don't, it will sit kind of weird in the water, and we obviously don't want that. So just make sure that's all squared away and good to go, and we'll go ahead and jump into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take our brick top slabs. We're going to place down a long row. And this row here is going to go pretty much almost the full length of our ship for a total of 30 brick top slabs. So again, this first initial row here is going to be a row of 30. Now, the direction you want the front facing will kind of depend on where you place this trapdoor. Now, we're going to have the front face this way, so we're going to go ahead and place down an acacia wood trapdoor coming off that top slab going forward, like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and then go to the stern of the ship, so the opposite side. We're going to go ahead and skip a space, place down 2 more brick top slabs, skip another space, and then 2 more brick top slabs. That right there will basically complete our center line. After we have that complete, we're going to go ahead and then move back up to the front, and we're going to go ahead and start working our way to the sides. Now, going ahead and counting back on our brick top slabs, we're going to go ahead and go back to our 7th top slab from that trapdoor in the front. We're going to place down a top slab here to the side. We're going to go ahead and then go back from it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 brick top slabs. We're going to go ahead and then go to our 3rd from last top slab. We're going to place down our top slab here to the side. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 going forward like so. And that right there is pretty much all you need to do for this layer. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Taking a look at it from above, this is what you should have for the top-down view with that all complete. If you need to take some time, go ahead and pause the video here. But again, that right there is going to complete everything we have for layer 1. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on up to layer number 2. Alright guys, moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to go ahead and go on top of this acacia wood trapdoor. We're going to place down a red concrete block, and then 1 more block forward like so. Going back from this red concrete block that's on top of that trapdoor, we're going to go ahead and place down a long row of red concrete, again extending pretty much the length of our ship. Going back for a total of, let's see, let me go and double check this here because that's not adding up. There we go, 31 blocks in total going all the way to the back here. And it should stick up 1 pass to this brick top slab here for the main kind of hull portion. So it should look like this here. We're going to go and then place down a brick upside down stair like so. 2 brick top slabs behind that, a brick wall, a brick slab, and then a acacia wood trapdoor coming off the slab like that. So you may need to place a block here to the side, and then place down your trapdoor like that. But yeah, that right there is going to basically finish that off. We're going to go and then place down an acacia wood trapdoor coming off the side of this brick wall, as well as placing down a brick upside down stair coming off this red concrete block. We're going to then go off the red concrete block with 2 of these lightning rods back, and then a birchwood slab here, like that on the end for our first propeller. Going forward from this brick stair, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 red concrete blocks forward. 2 brick walls, and 2 red stained glass panes, like that, to go and bring us toward our front. We're going to go then go to the stern of the ship here again. We're going to place down a brick stair coming off the second to last red concrete block, as well as 2 lightning rods going back from that stair. We're going to go ahead and also place down a birchwood slab, just like we did for the inner props there. Continuing on, we're going to take our red concrete. We're going to go ahead and go forward from the stair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 red concrete blocks. We're going to follow this up with 2 brick walls and 2 red stained glass panes to go ahead and finish that off. With that all done, that is going to conclude everything there is there for layer 2. Again, here's an aerial view of what it should look like so far. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down an andesite wall on top of this red concrete block. We're going to then go back from that andesite wall for a long row of stone for a total of 38 blocks in length. Then we're just going to place down a oak wood button here on the side of the stone block like that to finish it off. Coming off the side of the stone block, we're going to place down a light gray stainless pane, then a andesite wall forward, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 stone blocks forward. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So let me go and just double check our count here to make sure that's good. And yep, it is going to be 30 stone blocks in total. We're going to take our andesite walls now. We're going to place down 2 andesite walls and 2 light gray stainless panes going forward like so toward the bow. Then going ahead and going on top of this red stained glass pane here to the side, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane on top of it, and then one more back, followed by 2 andesite walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 stone blocks back, then 2 andesite walls, and 2 light gray stained glass panes to go ahead and finish it off there. Now at this point in time, we're going to go then take iron trapdoors, and we're going to place down an iron trapdoor on the side here of this third stone block here from the front. So again, 1, 2, third one, we have the trapdoor. One thing I do want to go ahead and mention here is if you are on Java and you do have access to the debug stick, we will be going ahead and using that tool here in doing this area. So I would recommend that if you are not on Java and you don't have access to a debug stick, instead the iron trapdoors, birchwood trapdoors are probably going to be your best alternative. We're going to go ahead and place down our trapdoor. We have 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, back like so. For Java players, we're going to go ahead and then type in the command /give @p Minecraft :debug_ stick. By pressing enter, we'll get this glowing stick here. We're going to go ahead and left click the trapdoor until we get selected open false prompt pop up. We'll then right click and basically set all these iron trapdoors to lay flat against the side there of those blocks. This kind of helps add a little bit more beef here to the sides of the kind of, I guess, torpedo belt area of the ship. So that right there is what that is representing. And it's not a major detail, you can go without it, but again, birchwood trapdoors would be a good alternative if you do not have the access to the debug stick. Anyways though, without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving on to our next layer here, we are going to be going ahead and moving into layer number 4. For layer 4, this will be the last layer we will be doing half on, half off, and from this point forward, we will be going ahead and doing all the layers all together. However, we still have this layer to complete, so let's go ahead and jump into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start off with this stone block up here in the front. Now, if you are on Java, we're going to go ahead and place down a stripped birchwood block, and we're going to go ahead and take our iron trapdoors, and we're just going to go ahead and place them around that block like so. We'll then use our debug stick here, we'll right click that, set that open to true, and it will sit flat against these 3 sides here of this block. Now, if you do not have access to the debug stick, just like we did for the sides there, you can go ahead and either use birchwood trapdoors, or you can just replace that block there with a stone block instead. Either one will work, but this right here is kind of the best overall look. Anyways though, going back from this block here, we're going to go ahead and place down a long row of our stripped birchwood. This row here is going to extend all the way to the stern of the ship, basically for a total of 35 blocks, so end 2 blocks before that end. After that row of 35 of the stripped birchwood, we're going to place down a stone block and then a andesite wall here on the very end. After that is done, we're going to go ahead and then go back up to the front. We're going to place down 2 iron trapdoors after that, 2 light gray stainless panes after that iron trapdoor, then 2 andesite walls, and then 1, 2, 3 stone full blocks. We're going to go ahead and grab our stripped birchwood again, and we're going to go ahead and build this row along the side here. Do make sure that all your stripped birchwood logs are facing the same direction, so you have the lines kind of all going the same way and look consistent. Just makes things look a little bit more cleaner on the deck space, and doesn't look all weird having all the different angles and stuff like that. So just something for out there. Continuing on though, we're going to go ahead and place down 3 stone blocks, 2 andesite walls, 2 light gray stainless panes. Then also on the back here, I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous layer, but on the stone block here below, we do have an oak wood button on the back here for some sort of seal or kind of plaque or something like that for the ship. So make sure that that does get added on there. However, on the side of this andesite wall, we do have our stern anchors here, and this is going to be done by placing down an item frame, and then in that item frame, we're going to place on a crossbow and rotate it so it faces downwards like so. After that's done, we want to go ahead and then go to the side of the ship here. We're going to place down a birchwood pressure plate on top of this wall right here. We're going to go and then skip a space, and then we'll also grab a stone brick wall, and we're going to place it down here on top of this first stone brick block. Going forward from the stone brick wall, we're going to go and place down a end rod, like so, and then we're going to place down an inside wall back from the wall. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 stone blocks forward. A stone wall, or an inside wall, and then a stone brick wall, and then an end rod facing forward like so. We're also going to place down 2 item frames here on the side of these glass panes. And in those item frames, again, we're going to go and place down crossbows like that, rotated face downwards for our anchors. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and kind of move into the side detailing here, mainly doing these sponsons. This will be done by placing down a stone brick wall here, and then an end rod going forward, and then a light gray stainless paint behind that. Again, we'll use our iron trapdoor here in our debug stick trick. Again, an alternative to that would be to use the birchwood trapdoor. We're going to skip another space, place down a stone brick wall, then a end rod going forward, and then a light gray stainless paint back from that. We're going to skip another space, place a stone brick wall, an end rod, light gray stainless paint. And after that, we're going to place down a polished black stone button here, light gray stainless paint, stone brick wall, then another end rod, another light gray stainless paint, a stone brick wall, end rod, 2 polished black stone buttons, light gray stainless paint, stone brick wall, end rod, and that right there is going to pretty much bring us to the stern there. So that right there is pretty much what we have on both sides and what we'll be doing. Again, taking a look at it from above is what we should have for the top-down view with this layer all complete. So we have those secondary guns put in, and with that, we'll be going ahead and now moving into our layer 4, which will be the first layer we will be going ahead and doing all together, not doing the half on, half off. And we do have a lot of detail going on with layer 4, or rather, sorry, layer 5. So it is going to be probably our longest layer. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 5. Alright guys, moving into layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here. We're going to place down an end rod on top of this block here, and then an iron bar on top of that. We're going to go and then go back 1, 2, 3 of these redstone dust pieces back, and then on both sides of this third one, we're going to place down a flower pot. We're also going to go ahead and place down item frames here on top of these glass panes, and we're going to go ahead and place down black beds in those item frames, like so. After that, we want to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater, like that, and then to the sides of it, we're going to place down a birchwood pressure plate. After this is all complete, we're going to go ahead and then skip back from the redstone repeater, 1, 2, in your third space here. In this third space, we are going to go ahead and place down a piston. Now, an alternative here to the piston, because we will be using our debug stick. So again, if you don't have access to the debug stick here, we will be going ahead and using some stone stairs as a replacement, as it's a pretty, I guess, good representation. So you just place down a stone stair like this instead. But again, we'll be using the piston here because it is the best looking block here for what we're trying to represent for our first turret. Now, after we have that piston in place, we're going to go and place down a skeleton skull to both sides. We're going to go and then place down a stone block here. And we'll then need a stone stair. So we're going to place down a stone upside down stair here. On both sides of the stone block, we're going to place down a piston and then another skeleton skull on the side of the stone stair. After that is all done, we're going to take our end rods. We're going to go and go 2 end rods forward from the piston and the skeleton skulls. And then if you are a Java player, we can go ahead and do a cool technique here just to kind of keep a little bit of our deck color a little bit more consistent. We're going to go ahead and grab an item frame and some yellow stained glass paints. We can actually place down item frames underneath the skeleton skull and the end rods on both sides here. And then in those, we're going to place down yellow stained glass to kind of help, again, keep that deck color a little bit more consistent instead of having those gray sections there. Now, again, you can, this is something that's going to be really only a Java feature. Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you'll have to just have that stone on full display. Continuing on, though, we're going to go ahead and take our stone full blocks. We're going to place down 1 block here. And we then want to transition into a stone top slab, then a stone full block. And that's going to kind of start to create our superstructure. With that finished, we want to go ahead and then place down a stone brick slab to both sides here. We're going to go ahead and grab another redstone repeater. We're going to place it down in this section here. Again, separate these notches apart from each other like so. And then also a daylight detector, turn to the night mode after those repeaters. When that's all done, we're going to go and then grab a white bed. We're going to place down a white bed here on both sides. And then we want to go and then grab a quartz slab. We're going to place down 2 quartz slabs going back from those white beds. Continuing on, we're going to place down our next turret, which will be turret number 2. We're going to place down our stone upside down stair, and then our skeleton skulls to both sides. Then we're going to place down our stone block in the center, pistons to both sides, and our stone, or an air piston coming off that stone block there. Our skeleton skulls, and then our end rods coming off of those 4 blocks. So just like that. Then to the sides here, we're going to place down a redstone repeater, notches spread apart on these sides here. And then we're going to go and place down 1, 2, 3 birchwood trapdoor, pressure plates going back. And we're also going to go and grab some stone brick slabs again and place them down to both sides like so. After that is done, we're going to go and then place down a stone block here in the center off that middle end rod. We're going to go and then place down a daylight detector to both sides. Again, turn that to the night mode, and we'll then place down our birchwood pressure plates here. After that, we're going to go and then skip 2 spaces back from that stone block. We're going to place down another piston, so we have 1, 2, then our third block, we have that piston. We're going to go then place down our skeleton skulls here to the sides. Then our end rods going forward. And then we're going to go and basically do the same thing we've been doing for our turrets here. So just like that. And also, I haven't mentioned it, so I'll just go ahead and mention it now. The pistons on the side here can also be replaced with stone stairs. Again, for different versions, if you don't have a debug stick. So just like that. Anyways, though, after that is done, we're going to then take our stone brick slabs. We're going to place down a stone brick slab here to both sides, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 pressure plates back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for our kind of catapults here on the sides, we're going to go ahead and place down a basically a birch or a daylight detector that's going to go on top of this wall here. Turn that to night mode. Same thing here. Turn it to night mode. And we'll just do the same thing over here on this side as well. In this middle space here, we're going to go and grab our redstone repeaters. We're going to place our repeater here, separate the notches, and then in the middle here, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick slab. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 stone full blocks. To the side of the full blocks here, we're going to place down 2 spruce slabs on both sides, and then a skeleton skull right here. We then want to go ahead and place down our birchwood pressure plates, which is going to go back from the daylight detector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then for our last turret here, it's going to be a stone upside down stair, skeleton skull to both sides, stone block in the center, piston to both sides, piston in the middle, our skeleton skulls to both sides, and again our 2 end rods going back from those blocks. And again, like we did before, we're going to go and grab our item frames, and for Java players, we're going to go ahead and place down our item frames underneath the end rods and the skeleton skulls, and we're going to go and then take our yellow stained glass panes, and we're just going to go and throw them in those glass panes, or in those item frames, like that. After that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater with the notches spread apart right there, and then 2 birchwood pressure plates going back on the sides. We're also going to go ahead and take our light gray candles. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 on this back section. Then a birchwood pressure plate, and then an end rod, and then a second end rod on top of that. And after we have that all done, basically that is pretty much this layer. The final thing we can do here is we can go ahead and go to these pistons with our debug stick. We'll left click them until we get selected extended false pop up, and then we'll right click each one of these pistons to go ahead and get rid of that wood portion, and basically finish the shaping there for those turrets. So basically that right there is pretty much it for this layer. This is probably going to be our most time consuming layer of the build, just because we do have a lot of detail going on. Here is a top down view of what it looks like. And with that, that again is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 5. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer number 6. Moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to go ahead and place down a lever that's going to go on top of this stone block here, as well as an iron trapdoor right behind it, and that's going to be on top of that first turret. We're going to go then place down 1 stone block here, then a stone top slab, and then an air stone full block. To the side of these first 2 stone blocks, we're going to place down 2 skeleton skulls to both sides like so, and then we want to go ahead and place down a iron trapdoor here on the end, on top of that stone upside down stair there. We're going to go then place down a stone block here, a lever like this, pointing upwards on both sides of that. Then moving to the rear kind of section here, the rear tower, we're going to place down a repeater here, separate the notches. We're going to go ahead and then place down a end rod here in the center. And then to the sides of that, for some boats, we're going to place down a polished andesite slab to both sides and then a polished andesite stair. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down an air stone block here. Then we want to place down a iron trapdoor like that, and then a lever like that. So that right there is going to basically complete everything we have there for that layer. So everything we have there for layer number 6. And with that, that's pretty much going to bring us into probably just going to go ahead and move into our final layers here. We have kind of the majority of the structuring done. So with that, we'll just go ahead and jump into all the rest of the build. Alright guys, moving into our final layers here, we have layers 7 through 15. Let's go ahead and jump into these and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about our first tower here. This is going to be done with an andesite wall on top of the stone block, a skeleton skull to both sides, and we also want to place down a birchwood sign on the front here of that wall, like so. Right behind that, we're going to go ahead and grab a birchwood fence post, and we're going to place down a fence post here, followed by an iron trapdoor here to both sides of that. We'll also want to go ahead and grab an item frame, and we're going to go ahead and place down an item frame that's going to come off of those iron trapdoors, and then also a snowball in those item frames, as well as a birchwood sign on this side here, facing toward the rear. Then we're going to place down a stone full block here. We're going to go ahead and then go up one more full block of stone up, and we're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone slab. We're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood fence post on top of this one, and then another fence post coming off that slab. We'll then place down end rods here coming off the this third fence post up. So we're going to place down 2 end rods to the sides here. Now you do get this issue with the fence gates connecting, or the fence post connecting up to this stone block. This can be fixed by using a debug stick or replacing these with a different block, like an end rods going up can be used, or again, we can use our debug stick here to actually get rid of that connection, like that. So again, those are kind of a couple options for you to do there. After that though, we're going to then place down a andesite wall here on top of that fence post like so, and then we're going to go then place down a birchwood fence gate coming off this wall going forward. Actually, real quick before we do that, it's actually going to be one more fence post up. So one more fence post up, and then we will have that andesite wall. So just like that. And then we're going to place down our birchwood fence gate going forward, and then an end rod to both sides of the fence gate, and then a block going back from the wall, and then another end rod to both sides like that, and then we'll delete that middle block. We're going to go then place down our birchwood fence post here in the center. Then we're going to place down 2 end rods up, 1 end rod to both sides of that top one, and then a iron bar here on the very top. After that is all done, that's pretty much the basic kind of skeleton there for the rigging. We will go ahead and basically use some barrier blocks, and the barrier blocks here can be retrieved by using the command /give @p barrier, and this right here is going to be your command. Press enter, it'll give you this little barrier block here. We're going to go ahead and go to the side here of this end rod here, and we're going to place down a barrier block to the sides here. So like that, and we're going to go ahead and wrap some buttons around these barrier blocks like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and drop down a barrier block here to these end rods here, and we're just going to have a barrier block on each one of the end rods, and we're going to go ahead and place down stone buttons here on the sides of the barrier blocks like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and then grab our barrier blocks again, and we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 that's going to go down from these end rods. So 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Our first 2 on top here we're gonna have buttons on these 2 sides, and then the one on the bottom here is gonna have the 1 button right here. Same thing will be done over here on this side as well, and that's gonna make your front rigging there for your forward mass. Continuing on, we're gonna go ahead and then go up to our funnel here. We're gonna go up 1 and 2 stone blocks, a polished black stone slab on top of this one here, like we did before, and we're gonna go ahead and then grab a iron trapdoor. We're gonna place it on to both sides of this stone block. We'll then follow this up with a item frame, which will be coming off this iron trapdoor on both sides here, and then in those item frames we're going to place down a snowball, and not destroy it with a snowball. So like that, again on both sides. After that is all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down an iron trapdoor on top of this stone upside down stair right there to go ahead and also add on to that turret, which is something I forgot to do. So that's it for that middle funnel, and then moving to our secondary tower to go ahead and finish this off. We're going to place down a stone upside down stair on top of that end rod. We're going to go then place down an andesite wall on top of this, and we want to go and then place down a birchwood fence post like so. Then a end rod going back from the fence post, and we're also going to place down a stone block on top of this one here. We'll take our iron trapdoors, wrap them around the stone block like so. We'll take our debug stick here, and we're going to go ahead and basically do the same technique we've done before by going ahead and closing them around the section. Again, birchwood trapdoors can be used as an alternative. We'll then take a flower pot, and we're going to place down a flower pot here on top of this stone block, as well as an end rod to both sides of the flower pot. And also in the front here, I did forget to mention, we do want to do the same thing on top of this wall. So a flower pot and a end rod to both sides. And that right there is your fire control system. After that, we're going to go ahead and continue on the rear secondary tower by placing down an andesite wall on top of here. Then a birchwood fence gate, which is going to come off of that wall. Then a end rod to both sides of the fence gate. And then an end rod coming off the fence gate here going back like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 end rods on top of the wall here. And we'll also go ahead and grab ourselves an iron bar and place it on top of that end rod like that. And then this very top end rod, we're going to place down an end rod to both sides of that as well. We're going to go ahead and take our barrier blocks and stone buns again, and we're going to place down a barrier block on this end rod right here. And we're going to go ahead and wrap our buns around the 3 sides here, like so. Also, in addition, coming off this andesite wall, we're going to place down 1 block forward, and then we're going to take our end rods, and we're just going to place down an end rod coming off both sides of that block, and then we'll delete that block like that. Continuing on though, we're going to take our barrier blocks, and we're going to go then place down a barrier block here, come off the side of this end rod to both sides, and we're going to take our stone buns and wrap 2 stone buns here on the sides. After that, we're going to then go down from these end rods here, 1, 2, 3. And over here, same thing. 1, 2, 3. We'll place down our stone buns. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1. And same thing here. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. So just like that for your rear rigging. Now at this point in time, the last thing really we need to do is to go ahead and just connect the rigging between our 2 masts. And this can be done very simply by placing down a row of, going off this top end rod, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barrier blocks. We're going to go ahead and then go up for a row of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to go ahead and then go up again for another row of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now to go ahead and do our cabling here, we're going to place down 2 stone buns on both sides here of the first 2 blocks. We then want to place down 3 buns on top here. Then 2 buns here on the sides of, or actually sorry, 4 buns on the sides. Like that. Of those middle 4 blocks, and then we're going to place down 3 buttons on the bottom of those first 3 barrier blocks here, and then 2 on the sides, or both sides of these last 2 there. And that right there is going to connect your rigging from the secondary and primary tower. And with that all complete, that is going to wrap up everything we have here for my design for the Russian battleship Gangut. Gangut-Class, basically, of dreadnoughts. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This is anything from the side of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for projects you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, all that fun stuff. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. And as always, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.